Hi, welcome to Habas Kitchen. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make vegan mayo. So this is a new recipe for us. We've been using it for a few weeks now and I've tweaked it a little bit. I actually came up with it by reverse engineering an egg-based mayonnaise recipe. I just replaced the egg with this aquafaba. If you don't know, aquafaba is the water that chickpeas have been soaked in. So when you drain the chickpeas from the tin, you save them, and this is one of the recipes that you can now use it for. So it goes really well in sandwiches. You can also sort of change it to your liking, make it sweeter, make it more sort of mustardy. You can even add chili or garlic to make a garlic mayonnaise. You can go a step further and use it for potato salad or like a homemade coleslaw. Either way, it's a good recipe to have in your armoury and I recommend you try it. So let's make a start then. Here's a list of the ingredients on your screen now. Just a couple of things to note. Firstly, the syrup, you need to make sure it's a nice light syrup. You can use sugar if you want, but I just prefer to use syrups rather than sort of refined sugars. So if you're using agave, just make sure it's the light version, not the sort of darker, heavier version. Otherwise it will weigh the mayonnaise down. It'll make it quite runny. And with the oil, try and make sure you use sort of vegetable or sunflower oil. We're using sunflower oil today. Avoid using anything like coconut oil or olive oil. The reason being, you just need to keep it a sort of nice neutral flavour. Otherwise it will overpower the mayonnaise. Now the other thing you will need is a stick blender like this. So I'm using this. Now if you don't have one of these, you could try using a whisk. That does work almost as well. This is the best thing to use. And don't try using an actual sort of static blender, because you need the ability to actually move this up and down inside the mayonnaise just to sort of aerate it a bit. And the other things you'll need are a jug to mix it in, and then a jar which you can seal and store it in the fridge. So to get started, we're going to add all of the ingredients except for the oil into the jug. So starting with the aquafaba. Quarter teaspoon of the mustard powder, quarter teaspoon salt, now I'm not usually 100% accurate with my ingredients. I like to leave it a little bit to feeling, but with something like this where it's down to sort of quarter teaspoons and half teaspoons, you need to be quite accurate, otherwise you could sort of tip the balance. So half a tablespoon. So I'm being a little bit more accurate than normal. And then the same one, half a tablespoon of syrup. Rice syrup is a good alternative to use if you want to stick to syrup. It's nice and light, but the same sort of sweetness as the agave. Okay, so that's all of those. So everything except for the oil. So with your stick blender on the sort of highest setting that you've got, just for sort of 30 seconds or so, just blend it all together. Keep moving it around the jug. And you'll see that it's sort of foamed up a little bit, so you're putting a little bit of air into it. Behaves very much like egg whites. Okay, so just take that out for a sec. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to measure out the 1 cup of oil. So there's a whole cup. Then we just need to, this is another reason for actually using the stick blender over a whisk, is it's best to try and add the oil as you're whisking it, as you're sort of blending it, just so that it sort of, you know, to add it slowly so that it doesn't sort of drown all the bubbles that are in there. Okay, so I'm going to, in one hand I've got the stick blender, and the second hand I've got the oil, which will go in just very slowly. And I'm going to do this over the course of about 2 minutes, just so that it's a nice sort of slow pace. And as I said earlier, it's a good idea to just sort of keep lifting up the blender occasionally, just so you can drag more air bubbles down into the into what will be the mayonnaise. So you'll find after a couple of minutes of blending in that manner, it will start to thicken up, and it will sort of resemble like almost like a meringue sort of texture. So you should be able to get some peaks in there, not sort of sharp peaks, but soft peaks. You can have a little taste, and that tastes perfect. It tastes just like mayonnaise, except with no eggs, and it's brilliant. So what I'm going to do now is just try not to make a mess here. Now I just need to decant from this jug into this jar so that it can go into the fridge. So I was having a little cheeky taster behind the scenes, and yeah, my apron didn't really do its job. So that's another t-shirt I'll need to wash. Okay, so I'm just finishing up decanting that, so you can see it's a little bit runny still, but that's, as I said, because it does need to sort of chill for a little bit. If you do find that you really can't get it to sort of thicken up, then you could try adding some more oil, because obviously every brand of oil is different. You can, you know, some of it is sort of lighter than others, so try adding a little bit more oil and then blend it a little bit more, and then you'll find it will thicken up. And there we are. So I'm going to put that into the fridge now, and I'll see you in 2 hours. So that's the mayonnaise chilled for 2 hours and ready to use. Now I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I really hope you find the recipe useful. Please do have a go at it and use it for your coleslaw, use it for your potato salad. So one of the reasons I did come up with this recipe instead of sort of buying it in the shops was it can get quite expensive in the shops, and I found that this, I've done a costing which I'll share on the blog post. Now it's roughly half the price of what you can buy in the shop. So, and for, you know, sort of 5 minutes of work, I think it's definitely worth it if you've got a stick blender and if you can get the ingredients. So definitely have a go at it. Let us know how it goes in the comments section down below. Also like and subscribe. Check out our website as well for any other recipes that you've seen on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.